Yeah, I'm very happy to do that. Well, actually what I'm doing now is I'm trying to figure out what civil disobedience in this new global context looks like. So a lot of the traditional ideas that we have about civil disobedience presupposed that nation states were the main institutional carriers for political action. And of course, that hasn't been the case in a while. So we need to think about what post-national or global movements and what forms of protest might look like that they would engage in. And one of those forms of protest, of course, is civil disobedience, which is supposed to be nonviolent law-breaking, where one shows respect for law, one seeks to improve the law, but one symbolically breaks the law. So that's actually what I've been working on. Yeah, well, the reason I got interested in it was because it's happening all over the place. We're seeing protest movements in Europe and the United States, and I think we need a conceptual framework that allows us to understand what these movements are about. So that's really what motivated it, yeah. I think some of what's happening now in a lot of the debate is people are using the terms in a very loose way. They talk about resistance, they talk about disobedience, they talk about conscientious objection, they talk about revolution, and that's not helpful. So we need to try to think about something like civil disobedience, which in the spirit of Martin Luther King is a very specific type of protest. Yeah, well, just to follow up on what I've been saying. So what motivated this is there are many protest movements. They're sometimes breaking the law as part of the protests. They're often locally based, but they may be directing their actions at some global player, right? So here in Europe, there have been massive protests, particularly in Greece and Spain, and they're directing their protests against their own governments. So it's local, but also against Brussels or Scheuerman in Germany. So it's a very complicated story there. I mean, one of the issues those movements have to face is whom in fact should they be speaking to? I mean, should they speak to their own governments or should they speak to some global entity? Yeah, so that's how this issue of civil disobedience, I call it civil disobedience in the post-national constellation. This is how that is a story about the local and the global at the same time. Yeah.